to Design Army TV. This episode summary is about colour number 11 paint. Now this is one topic which is usually associated the most with colour in interiors and architecture, wall paint. And if we break a room down to 6 planes, 4 walls, a ceiling and a floor, what we see the most of, what lies in our field of view the most, are our walls. So they take up to 66% of the visual amenity in our eyes. So it's no wonder that we take our interior and exterior wall colours so very seriously. So the first thing to consider about our wall paint is obviously its colour. And by now you're starting to be aware of colour within colour. So even if our wall is named a Resene soapstone, which is an off-white colour, we now know that technically it may have started life as a hue of a yellow or brown that has been toned with a mid-grey and then tinted up with white until the resulting colour is a very warm off-white. As I start to look along my fan deck fan of my conservative colours, what I'm starting to notice is that my codes are all the same. So as I look in detail at that, I can see that I have a colour called Gentle Touch Half, which is PCWA5, Gentle Touch Quarter, which is PCWA4, Pearl Grey, which is PCWA3, and Kreml Work PCWA2. As I can see up and down my scheme, all of these colours have started with a base hue that they have coded as PCW. Now, as I go back, just a little bit too dark, but as we know that colour will actually dry lighter. So to finish him off, the thing to remember when dealing with paint is this. A lot of my clients panic when they see the colour choices of paint first go up and see it for the first time on a large scale. So I say to them, let it dry. Give it a week or two until you're used to it, then decide whether you love or loathe it, and then call me. We'll also look in more detail at the other types of paints as we go along. But to start you thinking, here are the basic ones to consider. There are enamel paints and acrylic paints and low VOC paints, which stands for low volatile organic compound paints. And these are our environmentally friendly paints. And then we will look at paint finishes such as gloss, semi-gloss, satin and matte, as well as paint effects such as speckled or leather or antique. The next thing we need to address in our understanding of paint is cost and quality. A general rule of thumb is that we need more litres of cheap paint to paint a room and less litres of expensive paint to do the same room. So meeting our cost budget with paint can be an interesting seesaw, or should you buy more of the cheap paint or less of the expensive paint? And do be aware that if you have a room with lots of green foliage around outside, as the sun filters through the trees or plants, the light inside your room may throw a green tinge across the floor and walls. Similarly, if you have reddish timber floorboards with high gloss finish, if lots of natural light enters this room and hits floorboards, they may reflect a very pink glow up onto your white walls, and so perfect white walls start to look pink. Now every few years in the fashion of paint, a new finish will come onto the market, or interest in an old one will reignite. And you do have to be careful about using these finish techniques, because if you don't choose them carefully and apply them with good context, they will make your room look old-fashioned. So let's have a look anyway. often be the one thing in our spaces which is seen the most, particularly if it is on our walls and ceilings. So getting the colour right is vitally important. For this, we need to understand base hue within the resultant colour, to understand what the room is going to be used for, decide on the quality of paint you're going to use, choose a finish or an effect, analyse the colour in the context of the room and any reflected or filtered light. We'll get started on the painting, let it dry for a week to get used to it, and then stand back and see how much we love it. So thank you for joining me in this episode trailer on paint, and I really look forward to you watching the full-length episode. Thank you.